Hi, this is Sally's Book Club, bringing you the world's best books every single day. Today we explore The Kite Runner, the debut novel by Afghan-American author Khaled Hosseini. The novel spans nearly half a century of Afghanistan's turbulent history, from the 1960s through the aftermath of America's 9/11 attacks in 2001. Before diving into the story, let's first understand Afghanistan's historical context.
Over recent decades, Afghanistan has endured earth-shaking transformations.
Until 1973, Afghanistan remained a closed-off, backward constitutional monarchy. In July 1973, former Prime Minister Dawood seized power through a military coup. Soviet interference then triggered three coups between 1973 and 1979.
The Soviet Union later invaded this land for strategic dominance. After 9 years of occupation, civil war consumed the nation. The notorious Taliban imposed brutal rule over its people.
What followed is history we all know too well. Post 9/11, America captured Kabul, but Taliban still control southwest regions. Religious and ethnic divisions fuel conflicts, with 80% moderate Sunnis and 19% radical Shias among Muslims.
Protagonists Amir and Hassan represent Pashtuns and Hazaras. Their ethnic-religious divide fueled the tragedy.
Published in 2003, the story concludes in 2002 as Kabul falls to American forces.
Soviet wars, Taliban regime, and American intervention. Endless wounds scarring this ancient land.
Against this epic, tragic backdrop, our story unfolds. Now, let's journey together to this wounded land in search of the Kite Runner. The novel opens with a flashback as protagonist Amir receives an unexpected call from his lifelong mentor. Rahim Khan's call from Pakistan foreshadows a life-altering truth about Amir's redemption and future.
The year is 2001 in San Francisco. 20 years since Amir fled Afghanistan with his father. Having lost his father and passed, he built a new life, finding love across the hemisphere. Yet the festering wound in his heart never healed with time.
At the dawn of the new century, a single phone call propels him toward homeland and redemption. As the story reminds us, buried secrets never stay buried. A path awaits, one that could finally make him whole again. Decades earlier in Afghanistan, Amir enjoyed brief peace like millions of his countrymen.
Born in 1963, Amir lost his mother during childbirth.
His only childhood companion, Hassan, the story's second protagonist, was born next year to servant parents.
Despite class differences and clashing personalities, both boys grew motherless, nourished by the same wet nurse. Amir's father taught, "Those sharing breast milk become brothers, bonds no time can break." This prophecy haunted their lives.
Another crucial figure emerges, Baba's loyal friend and business partner. Rahim Khan, the caller, urging Nir's return, becomes pivotal to our story throughout Amir's childhood and beyond. Rahim Khan remained a father figure, second only to Baba himself.
While Baba was a respected businessman and tough patriarch, Amir inherited only his father's sensitivity, not his strength. Throughout his childhood, Amir's father constantly disapproved of his sensitive nature, while Amir spent years desperately seeking paternal approval through rocky terrain of their relationship.
In those motherless years, with distant fatherly love, Rahim Khan became both a nurturing mentor and guiding light for young Amir. Beyond his father and Rahim Khan, the most crucial figure in Amir's life was Hassan, son of family servant Ali Shah. Ali had been adopted by Amir's grandfather, growing up with Baba like brothers. After Hassan's birth, both father and son served their masters while maintaining this peculiar bond. To young Amir, Hassan was more than just an obedient servant. He was a devoted playmate, a loyal friend who always knew where to find the last defeated kite after Amir cut its string.
Starved for affection, Amir found solace in storytelling's colorful embrace.
He often read stories to Hassan beneath their pomegranate tree sanctuary. One afternoon, Amir pranked Hassan with a made-up tale only to receive heartfelt praise. That dusty afternoon under the pomegranate tree secretly sealed Amir's destiny as storyteller.
When Baba showed indifference to Amir's first real story, the rejection cut deep.
Yet Rahim and Hassan offered genuine encouragement, teaching crucial writing lessons. That page became the first chapter in Amir's lifelong literary journey.
As 1973 arrived, beginning 6 years of political chaos, their pomegranate sweet days were numbered. This year slowly raised the curtain on impending tragedy.
Like rusted nails buried in fate's riverbed, awaiting to pierce weary travelers crossing troubled waters.
Their dark blood would stain Afghanistan's collective memory like indelible ink. The relentless warfare acted like deliberate exposures, freezing countless sorrows into permanent frames that remained vivid decades later. As Shia Hazaras, Hassan and his father Ali endured endless religious and ethnic discrimination, yet their pure hearts underestimated this land's capacity for brutality.
Even during escalating conflicts, this ancient land preserved its spiritual solace, the tradition of kite fighting. Every winter, Kabul's districts hosted kite tournaments following centuries-old traditions. Competitions lasted from dawn till the last victorious kite ruled the skies. Afghans cherish customs but despise rigid rules, especially in kite battles. The essence remained simple. Cut your opponent's line. Claim their fallen kite. Amir excelled at cutting strings, Hassan at retrieving trophies. No child's play but serious honor. Even Baba respected this tradition, understanding its cultural significance. In winter 1975, when Amir defeated the final kite, Hassan sprinted, shouting, "I'll fetch your glory," becoming the ultimate kite runner.
At the alley's mouth, Hassan turned and uttered the heartbreaking vow, "For you 1,000 times over." Amir could never face Hassan's absolute loyalty. It made him feel perpetually unworthy.
This promise hung like a curse, foreshadowing 30 years of impending tragedy.
That winter day's vibrant blue kite and crystalline sky embodied fragile illusions of hope. Their shattering still brings tears.
Several bullies who'd harassed Hassan and his father Ali before cornered him with a kite in an alley. Remember their leader's name. Asif.
This boy would haunt both Hassan and Amir for decades. They demanded the kite for Hassan's freedom. Hassan refused to surrender Amir's trophy. After beatings, Asaf committed an unspeakable act, raking Hassan while others held him down. Cowardly Amir witnessed everything from the Ali's mouth, doing nothing to intervene. This betrayal became Amir's lifelong nightmare, watching his brothers suffer without raising a finger. The cruelest truth Hassan knew, Amir had witnessed his humiliation all along.
Years later, when Amir's wife confessed her own trauma, he felt sickening jealousy, her honesty shaming his lifelong silence.
Hassan returned home bloodied, entering perpetual winter of the soul. Amir framed Hassan for theft, driving him and Ali away. Hassan accepting false guilt with devastating dignity.
As war consumed Afghanistan, Amir fled to America with Baba, rebuilding life through college and writing career.
He married Soraya, witnessed Baba's cancer death, yet redemption remained elusive.
Until summer 2001, when Rahim Khan's call shattered his fragile peace. That phone call carried life-altering truths and a path to atonement waiting decades to be walked. This is the redemption Amir desperately sought. Amir returns to Pakistan, reuniting with old friend Rahim Khan.
Also awaiting him are decades of separation from Hassan, now measured through war's cruel lens.
Rahim reveals he maintained their family home after their departure until aging forced him to seek Hassan's help.
After Ali's landmine death, Hassan returned with his wife, tending the crumbling house like his father before him. Their son Sohrab's birth brought brief happiness before Taliban bullets claimed Hassan and his wife.
Rahim's final revelation. You and Hassan were half-brothers. Your nephew needs rescue in Afghanistan. Baba's words echo, a boy who can't stand up becomes a coward. The truth finally crystallizes.
Amir ventures into Taliban territory, finding Sohrab enslaved by Asaf, Hassan's childhood tormentor.
This time, Amir doesn't let his inner coward prevail.
Shattered bones become redemption's price. Broken jaw, cracked ribs, pulp face, spiritual liberation through physical destruction.
In poetic justice, Sohrab fires Hassan's never-used brass ball into Asaf's eye, completing his father's unfinished act. Cutting through mountains of pain, Amir adopts Sohrab, finally becoming the father figure he needed. On spring 2002's first day, flying kites with Sohrab, Amir sees Hassan's ghost running happily beside them.
He whispered in his heart, "For you 1,000 times over."
While preparing this book review, revisiting the story after decades revealed new layers beyond youthful excitement. What fundamental truth does the author convey beneath this narrative? Beyond authorial guidance, what authentic insights can we extract to independent critical thinking? The story ultimately explores cyclical redemption through character relationships against historical upheavals. Merely being moved by formulaic redemption tropes risks missing deeper critical self-reflection opportunities. True literary understanding requires contextualizing through historical political lenses, yet these become irrelevant when assessing pure artistic merit. Core value emerges from character dynamics rather than external context. Let's dissect Amir's key relationships to uncover hidden dimensions. First, Rahim Khan. Functionally, he serves primarily as narrative infrastructure. While providing paternal love and guidance to Amir, his omniscient perspective limits character depth. A writing tip: godlike wisdom in characters often flattens their humanity. True characterization thrives on internal contradictions and flaws. Second, Asaf, the persistent antagonist, serving as narrative detonator. His tool-like existence illuminates Amir's redemption path through calculated cruelty. As a character study, Asaf surpasses Rahim Khan by embodying humanity's dual evils, brutality and cowardice, whose collision doomed Hassan. When Amir defeats Asaf climactically, should we simply accept this as redemption's completion? Does eliminating external evil cleanse internal corruption? The narrative denies easy answers.
Could history repeat with Sohrab becoming Amir's new Hassan? The haunting question lingers.
Abba's character shines through contradictions. The bear-hunting patriarch preaching integrity while bedding his servant's wife. His charitable orphanage construction masks guilt over Hassan's illegitimate status.
Frustration with Amir's timidity stems from twisted disappointment. Wishing his legitimate heir possessed his bastard son's courage.
Baba's American reconciliation reveals desperate transference of paternal hopes after Hassan's irreversible loss. The man who declared theft the root sin committed ultimate theft, stealing Ali's wife and Hassan's legitimacy. Baba's complexity lies in warring selves. Societal pillar vs. tormented sinner, creating literature's most human paradox. Essentially, Amir now embodies both himself and Hassan in his father's eyes. Fourth character, Hassan. Many interpret his loyalty as servility. I vehemently disagree. Hassan's actions reflect divine nobility rather than subservience. Servility requires stupidity, which he never possessed. His courage, integrity, and devotion stemmed from profound awareness, not ignorance.
As the narrative state, being around Hassan's absolute integrity makes one feel perpetually inadequate.
Such rare souls exist, not as fabrications, but as precious human miracles. Now let's analyze the central metaphor. What does the kite truly symbolize? For Afghans, peace. For Amir, shame and redemption. For Hassan, honor. For Baba, legacy. For Asaf, cruelty. The kite mirrors our deepest desires. What we chase defines its meaning. The novel's cyclical patterns amplify narrative tension while exploring human frailty. Father-son relationships bifurcate into opposing destinies. Courage vs. cowardice, nobility vs. disgrace. Intertwined destinies transcend personal bonds. Religion, exile, and fate scatter connections like ocean waves.
Hassan's rape by Asaf mirrors Sohrab's later victimization. Cyclical trauma across generations.
The brass pellet Hassan never fired finally finds Asaf's eye through Sohrab. Poetic justice completed. Amir's physical shattering by Asaf atones for his childhood, cowardice, blood debt repaid. Infertility patterns. Ali's biological limitation echoes through Amir. Soraya's adoption of Sohrab. Beyond narrative analysis, let's examine the novel's philosophical value through reader response theory. Authorial intent and reader interpretation hold equal weight. True meaning lives between text and audience. While the author centers on Amir's redemption, let's confront two ethical dilemmas as critical readers. First, should moral judgments account for genetic predispositions and childhood trauma? Does biological, circumstantial innocence mitigate personal responsibility for evil acts? Second, does sincere remorse automatically warrant forgiveness and redemption? How should we interpret narratives promoting redemption ethics in real-world contexts? All right, that wraps up today's book insights. You'll find the keynotes below the audio. See you tomorrow.